Well, after some time waiting, here is week 6 of the 2019 DCFL season. As we take a look at the standings, pretty much the same for the last bunch of weeks. As in the Eastern Conference, New York still remains undefeated, leading the division, followed by my Charm, then the Charlotte Bobcats, Pittsburgh Power, Philadelphia Sonics, and Jacksonville Scouts. How funny enough too, exactly one win apart from each other. And then in the Western Conference, the Indianapolis Rapid Stallions still lead undefeated, followed by Oakland and Chicago being the wild card spots, and then Phoenix, Seattle, and LA match out the bottom. So we start week 6 as my Charm hosts the Seattle Tenyo, trying to get revenge from losing from last year, and to keep this 4-game win streak going to 5 to keep up with New York. And my Charm would win it 17-0 a shutout, although it wasn't close pretty much whatsoever. Even though Seattle once again could not even get 200 yards of offense, their defense played a very good job shutting down my Charm's offense, but in the end, still won with a shutout as I'm now 5-1 as the Seattle Tenyo have fallen to 1-5. And then after that, it's the Phoenix Devils visiting the Charlotte Bobcats as Phoenix finally ended their 3-game losing streak last week. Charlotte, however, needs a win here to keep up in that Eastern Conference as they're far behind both Baltimore and New York for that last wildcard spot. And Charlotte would get the victory in overtime 26-23. Actually kind of surprising as their offense was terrible. Even though they got 450 yards almost, they suffered through 4 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 of them recovered. So wow, Phoenix's defense came and showed up, and their offense played good, yet they still lost. Ouch. Man, what happened? How could they have lost that? And you got one what happened there. They're now 2-4 as Charlotte now 4-2, safely having that 3rd seed right now in the Eastern Conference. Then we head out to LA as the LA Mean Green Machines host the Jacksonville Scouts, who are still trying to get their first win of the year, as LA still trying to win after losing last time out. And LA would get an offensive shootout 37-27 as it was close until the final few minutes, as LA put up over 450 yards. Jacksonville put up over 400 yards as well. It was all offense, just Jacksonville just couldn't keep up, surprisingly, because LA is like one of the worst teams in the league. But now they're 2-4, and they beat the runner-up for the championship last year, as yikes, Jacksonville's already beaten their loss total from last year. They still have yet to win a game as they're still winless. Yikes, talk about a major hangover from the championship. And then we get to the biggest game of the week as the Oakland Pillagers visit the undefeated New York Gangsters, still undefeated, trying to keep up and win so they can keep ahead of me by a game in the conference. Meanwhile, Oakland suffered a loss last week trying to keep up in that division because they and Chicago are tied right now for those 2 wildcard spots. But New York destroyed Oakland. 42-14 was up 35-0 going into halftime as they completely shut down Oakland's offense with 4 sacks and 4 interceptions. New York absolutely demolished Oakland, and how about that? New York has already matched their win total from last year as they're still undefeated. Oh my god, will they ever lose so I can catch up in that conference? Jeez. As 2 losses in a row for Oakland as they're back down 3rd place now in that division. Then it's out to Chicago as the Chicago Staleys host the Pittsburgh Power, as the Power have now lost 3 in a row. Not looking good right now. Meanwhile, Chicago hanging in there at 3-2. Right now has the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, and a win here would secure that lead. And Chicago would get it 32-17. Not really competitive whatsoever, as Chicago's defense decimated Pittsburgh. 4 sacks, 4 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. Completely shut down Pittsburgh. Never had chances. Ouch. How about that? Pittsburgh now lost 4 in a row. I guess those 2 overtime wins to start the year are very good. Obvious reference to how struggling they're going to do possibly this year, as Chicago now 4-2, 2nd in the division. And then our final game of the week is the Indianapolis Rapid Stallions visiting the Philadelphia Sonics, as this could be an offensive shootout as Indianapolis still trying to remain undefeated in that conference and lead Chicago by 2 games. Philadelphia still trying to get a 2nd win as they've now lost 3 in a row, and they've been walloped these last bunch of weeks. And Indianapolis would win it 52-24 to stay undefeated as they put up a dominant performance, almost 550 yards, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles and a defensive touchdown too. Oh my god. Completely decimated Philadelphia, although they got 2 interceptions and a forced fumble too. It was competitive into the first half, but once the second half came around, Indianapolis dominated to stay undefeated as Philadelphia now 1-5. And with that, Week 6 is in the books as we now take a look at the standings after Week 6. As we see in the Eastern Conference, New York still leads, and Baltimore still 2nd seed, and Charlotte still the 3rd seed. No changes whatsoever. And the Western Conference, Chicago now takes over the 2nd seed as Oakland falls to the 3rd seed. But other than that, no changes there either. And now we take a look at the Week 7 schedule as we'll start off with Baltimore at Philadelphia as they're all divisional matchups. Then a big one in the Eastern Conference as New York visits Charlotte. That'll be very interesting, especially I'm going to be watching now, definitely. Then Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. And then we get to the Western Conference, which Indianapolis visits Phoenix. Then the big one, Chicago at Oakland for that 2nd spot in that division. And then Seattle at LA to finish it off. As the number 2 spots right now are up for grabs pretty much, especially in the Western Conference. Well, we got 6 weeks in now. We still got 10 more to go. I can't wait to see what happens on Week 7. That'll be insane as we're getting closer and closer to talking about the playoff bracket soon. So, see you guys then for Week 7 of the 2019 DCFL season.